How's everyone? I always pop on here a few minutes early. And I'm gonna be honest, I do that so that I'm not late. Okay. Day 4. So excited. Getting my notes. Okay. So we have talked a lot about a lot. Okay, so I do this exercise. We're gonna do this exercise. Let's just make sure I'm not flashing anybody, because I kind of want to sit. Okay. I know a lot of you are on the replay. I see it. Thank you so much for being like, I'm on the replay. That's awesome. I know 10 o'clock is a very strange time for a lot of you. If you're on like the West Coast, that's super early. Or if you're in another country, it's, you know, so I get it. But this is a good time for me, right? 10 o'clock. I hate this. This lighting is completely natural, and so I don't know why it like looks pixelated sometimes. It's weird. Maybe if we go a little bit closer. Here we go. Hi. All right. I have like a ring light that's like this, but then the lighting is from my window. Okay. I feel like it's adjusting. Okay, cool. I saw that someone commented. I mean, like it said someone commented, but I can't see comments, so maybe it'll pop up. Maybe it's delayed. Oh, it's delayed. Hi. All right, so we're gonna do a little exercise. I like to teach everybody this exercise when they're first like learning how to become psychic. I actually have a little like master class, and this was part of that master class, is like learning how to tap into your psychic abilities, because this is what we're all here for, right? So this exercise is going to help you. Hope you can't hear that. I think someone's mowing their lawn. Help you figure out what your clair is, because I know we talked about clairs on Tuesday, and so I want to give you a little bit, we're going to go a little bit deeper in that. So just take a few minutes. We're going to take a few minutes. Take a few deep breaths, relax your body. You can close your eyes. Relax your body. Try to let go of that weight on your shoulders. Drop the tension in your chin and the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Kind of feel your body just, whew. I like to use sound effects, so you can just kind of, whew, just kind of like use your breath and your voice to just drop down the tension, drop down the body. With your eyes closed. Continuing to breathe just a few more times. And with that breath. All right, and you're gonna slowly open your eyes, okay? And I want you to take a few minutes to scan the room that you're in. So just scanning the room that you're in, what do you pick up? What do you notice? How do you feel? What were you first attracted to when you opened your eyes? Was it a sound? Did you hear something? Did you see something? Did you feel? Did you smell? Did just a thought or a vision come up? Okay. You can do this exercise all the time, and I'm going kind of fast through this exercise because this is something that I want you to do consistently, is getting deep into your body and then opening your eyes, scanning the room, what first pops out. So this is why this exercise is really important for developing your clairs, because we want to know what clairs are already developed. We talked a little bit about this on Tuesday, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper today, and then we're going to talk about also protection. So when you're understanding, I think these glasses, the reflection's weird. When you're tapping into your clairs, this is the easiest way. If you don't understand what is it? Do I see things? Do I feel things? Do I think things? Like, because becoming psychic is becoming who you are, your truth. And your truth may not be that you see energy. You might feel a presence before you ever have seen anything. It doesn't mean that you can't open up that gift, but we want to know what is the gift that is most heightened right now. And that's what you want to work on and focus on. Don't focus on the things that feel difficult when you're starting out this journey. And I encourage you and invite you to do that as any part of your spiritual awakening, or when you're developing any sort of spiritual practices. Don't do these really heavy ceremonies or rituals if you haven't even taken a bath. Like, you can start small, start simple, and that's what we're doing with your clairs. I don't want you to open yourself up to gifts and like, I want to be open to all the gifts all right now. I want you to slowly unfold like a rose opening up, because if you unfold too rapidly, then you can find yourself feeling overwhelmed and maybe just shutting it down. And that's probably what happened with you as a kid. If you're coming into here now, more than likely you had psychic gifts and intuitive abilities as a child, and you probably shut them down because they opened up really quickly and you didn't have anybody there to support you. So that's something that I do for my clients, is I'm there with them as they're opening up their gifts, as they're opening up their intuitive abilities, as their flower is expanding. I'm there to support them through those processes. So that's what I do, is like, I'm there on the journey with you, holding your hand as you're moving through your spiritual awakening. That's basically what I do. So what you want to start off with is that exercise that we just did with taking a few deep breaths, opening your eyes. Do you see? Do you hear? Do you feel? Do you smell, or do you think first? Because those are the main clairs, right? Seeing, feeling, hearing, thinking, just knowing. So when you open your eyes, if the first thing that draws your attention is that you're like, you open your eyes and you go, oh, I feel relaxed, you're probably clairsentient, which means that you feel the presence of people. If the first thing is when you open your eyes, you notice a purple, I have a card deck right up there, my like on a little altar, and it says it's just purple, and I notice purple right away. I see. The first thing, I open my eyes and I see. Okay. So that might be your clair, is that you will have clear vision, that you probably use your third eye more than most. Okay. So this is just a really good way. And if you are, let's say, let me see, I think that there's just 5 clairs that I usually use. So if you see things, then you're clairvoyant, right? And so if you're clairvoyant, then you need to work on seeing more. So how do we do that? How do we see more? How do we feel more? How do we hear more? How do we just know, right? Claircognizant, we just know. How do we tap into these abilities and heighten them? Because that's what we want to do. We want to turn up the volume of the silent audio or the whispering audio of our own psychic abilities. We talked about that the whispers of your past, or, well, the screaming of your past is probably going to be, well, if you're just starting this journey, louder than the whisper of your intuition. So your intuition might be a whisper right now. And so we want to turn up the volume on these psychic abilities. We want to turn up the volume on the intuition. So how do we do that? Nature. Nature and meditation. And those are going to be your 2 main ways to connect with your psychic abilities, is nature and meditation. But what that also is going to do is you're opening your energy field. And if we're having our energy field wide open without any sort of protection, it can lead to, I don't want to like say things that are like scary, because it's not scary just to open up your energy field, but it's like anything. If you start driving, right? You don't just get on the road and know how to drive a car. You also get on the road and know how to brake fast. You know how to turn really quick if someone turns into your lane. You know the laws and the rules of the road. If you go drive in another country, most likely than not, you're probably looking at the laws and the rules of their road system. So that's what happens with our psychic abilities. We're heightening our senses. We're connecting with a source that's greater than us. What are the laws and systems there? We don't want to be completely just like, I'm just this new baby and here we go, because you don't know the law and systems of that that space, of that vibration. I don't like to say it as a specific, like, whatever, like God or universe, because I know that a lot of us practice different things, and this isn't about religion, it's about opening yourself up. But we also want to protect our energy. We don't want to open ourselves up and have some crazy person coming at us. Let me tell you a story, because this is going to kind of like, probably you'll understand what protection means. It doesn't mean that you're like, someone's going to hurt you. Okay. Let me I like to give specific examples. So when I was practicing really opening up my energy, like full trust, full surrender, it was about 3 years ago. And I had done it before, previous to that, like with my psychic abilities and stuff. But there was times where I just wanted to fully open, fully trust, fully be available to literally anything the universe would send to me. And I hopped on a bike, and I put on Mariah Carey. I just gotta get you in the vibe, right? I put in like old school Mariah Carey on my headphones, like riding my bike, like down the sidewalk. And I remember thinking, I'm just gonna open up. I wanna be fully open, fully present, fully just energetically able to receive anything. And I didn't put any sort of protection up. Like I just was open, which is fine. You can be like that sometimes, especially if you're around people you trust and everything. But I just was like, I'm here for it. I wanna be a magnet to whatever. And this man who, I don't like to use the word crazy because I don't know what was going on with him, but I don't think he was living on this particular planet, let's say, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna keep this quick, but so he stops me. He's got like a shopping cart and he's got a lot of things with him, right? Like he told me he was like living in a homeless camp, like in the woods, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like that was his immediate conversation starter. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Okay. And like, if I am in that position of being open to the universe, being open to an energetic field, I know that I might have encounters that feel weird. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I gotta say that. Like if I'm uncomfortable, I'm out, I'm leaving. I don't care how open I am. But I felt like, okay, what does this person have to say to me? What is the universe doing here, you know? And I have to say that when I started doing this work, opening myself energetically, opening myself psychically, I often felt like I was going a little bit crazy, or I felt as though I would be really misunderstood. And that might be how you're feeling. So I want to validate how you might be feeling as you open up your gifts, that you might feel like people are going to misunderstand you. You might feel that people will put certain labels on you. You might feel as if, and here's the thing, that's probably true. People are probably doing that, and that's okay. We can't stop that. So when this man came up to me and was talking with me, he went all in immediately. And he's like, you know, he was followed by the FBI, and this is his story. I don't know what the truth is. Maybe he doesn't even know what the truth is, right? He's telling me, you know, there's a lot of paranoia, right? And telling me how the dinosaurs died because termites ate the trees. And so they didn't have any more, like leaves to eat. So that's why they died. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a theory he had. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I was at that time, and we talked about this yesterday, when you open up, you got to remember that you're going to open up to anything that presents you to this opportunity. At that time, I was really scared of what people thought of me. I was really scared to open up. I was scared to be in a place where people could judge me. And here this man comes along as I'm opening my energy field, and I could have been on the other side judging that person on their beliefs, on what they know to be true in their body. Whether or not it's true, whether or not it's a reality that I'm living in, that's not for me to decide, right? So the reason why I'm telling you this story as you're like opening up your clairs is because you're going to have judgment from the outside. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. The issue becomes when the judgment is on the inside. When you're judging yourself by opening up your psychic abilities. When you begin to judge yourself by becoming this like magical presence in other people's lives. And we have to be careful that when we're opening this up, and we're going to talk about protection, when we're opening ourselves up, that we are opening ourselves up to judgment, that we are opening ourselves up to things that may not always feel good in our body, whether it be a scary experience with a spirit, because that can happen too, or be a scary experience with someone from your actual life judging you. So I want you to know that that feeling is valid, it's true, but it doesn't mean that you stop developing your senses, you stop developing your clairs, you stop developing your intuition because other people can't understand your truth. And I don't know why this came through, because I wasn't really going to talk about this, but I want that to be a thread line for you, that as you evolve and as you develop your truth, there will be people that may not understand you and that you might feel misunderstood. But remember that if you understand your own truth, you cannot be misunderstood because you stand in your truth. And also remember that your reality may not be like anybody else's, and that's okay. Are you happy? Do you feel whole? Do you feel peace? And these psychic abilities, opening yourself up to that, will guide you to the people who won't judge you, who will guide you to the people who will support you in this. And I think that's what happened with me that day with that man, is that I was fearing judgment of the outside. I was fearing judgment of others. I was fearing judgment of myself, like because my psychic abilities were opening up, because I could feel the energetic field opening up for me. And then this man came along, and this man with a lot of stories, with a lot of truth, with a lot of things that didn't really make sense in my reality, but I was given the opportunity to say, that is his reality though. And it's not my job to try to change the way that he sees life, but it is my job to be open to the experience of having a conversation with him and opening up to a new truth. So I don't know why I'm saying this, but I feel like there's some of you that might be on this brink of like, you're psychic, you have these gifts, you have these abilities, but you also know, or you also might fear, what is going to happen when I truly open up? What is going to happen when I need, or what is going to happen when I open up? What happens with the judgment? And so it will be there, but the most important part is for you to stay true in yourself. So let's talk about protection, because I think that's something that is really, really, really powerful. So I personally practice a lot of magic, let's say a lot of witchcraft. Like this is my own personal practices, right? And so I do a lot of physical protection, like actually putting certain herbs around my house and doing things like that. But I want to really talk about energetic protection. And if you want to know more about the physical stuff, like you can put some questions in this group because we'll be talking about it. But I want to talk about the energetic protection that you can do on yourself. And it's through your breath. So you don't need any tools. You don't need any crystals. Although if you have crystals, if that's your jam, if you like essential oils, if you like, whatever, like seagulls or symbols, like you get to decide what it is that feels good as a physical representation of the energy, but you have to have the energy source first. And I think we often forget that. We use things without really understanding the background of the energy. So the background of the energy of protection is this, through your breath. Now, let's get a little bit sciencey. I am going to try to keep this under 20 minutes, so we got a little less than 4 minutes, but I want to have you imagine what the breath is actually doing in your body, and then you'll be able to energetically, I think, grasp the concept a little bit better. So our breath is what keeps us alive, period, right? But when we breathe in, we're breathing in the clean oxygen, hopefully. So we're breathing in this beautiful clean air, as clean as we could possibly have in the world we're living in now. And we're breathing out. The breath is then collecting everything in your belly and in your lungs, and it's collecting. And as you breathe it out, it's breathing out any toxins that you might have, anything that's not good for the body. Your breath is pushing it out, and then it's pushing back in the good. And that literally scientifically is what it's doing. So energetically, the breath is what is going to protect you because it's already protecting you physically. So what you're doing is you're adding another layer to this beautiful gift that you already have. You don't need any outside sources. You don't need anything other than the breath. So when I do protection breath, it's a different breath than anything else. I'm actively thinking, I'm actively breathing in. Let's see, he's gonna call again, it's my partner. I'm actively breathing in. I'm breathing in protection. I'm feeling the protection in my body. And as my breath goes in, and you can do this quickly, it shouldn't take more than a few minutes. It might take you about 10 to 15 minutes when you first start, but this will just be a quick breath. And as I'm breathing in, I'm feeling the body fill up with breath. I'm feeling the body fill up with breath. I'm also feeling all the negative push out. I'm feeling any sort of negative magnet that would attract anything negative to me. I'm releasing those little magnets. So that's what you can feel like with each breath out. You're releasing any magnet of negativity, and I'm pulling in the magnets that are only going to pull in the positivity. And we want to do this before we do any sort of psychic work with other people, psychic work with ourselves. You can use this before you go into the grocery store, before you have hard conversations. And you can use this thing for anything. So I'm breathing in positivity, but I'm filling my body first, okay? As you feel the body full, and you'll feel it as it relaxes down, that's it's filling with a calm, peaceful, whole breath. And then you're gonna imagine as you're breathing in, you're breathing all the positivity around you. So now your body is filled with positivity, right? Your body is filled, positivity is not really the word we're looking for, but your body's filled with protection because positivity is the protection against the negative. And as your body fills, once you feel the body full with this breath, as you push your breath out, you're no longer pushing away, you're creating this nice energetic bubble around you to protect you. Do this before you do any sort of psychic, strengthening your psychic gifts, tapping into your intuition. Now, this isn't for those moments where you're just like have to have a quick thought and you're going. This is for those moments where you're actively saying, what are my clairs? How am I building these? What am I doing to help myself? How am I seeing better? And so you're going to do this work as the protection, and you're going to call in whoever, if it's universe, if it's God, if it's angels, whatever makes you feel kind of like that protective state. And you're going to call that in, and you're going to call it into your bubble. Then go ahead and do that work. Do the work of what I said about your clairs earlier in the video. You can do this work. And then as you find yourself relaxed, you have your protection bubble on, you can ask, like, what is the thing that I need to do to develop my clairvoyance, which is clairseeing? And you ask that, what do I need to do to develop my clairvoyance? And then you ask for the message. You may not receive it right away, and that's okay. And so this is how you're going to develop. So we're asking to be healed like we did yesterday, and today we are actively protecting ourselves, and then we're actively asking for things that will help us develop our clairvoyance. So tomorrow we're going to really dig deep into how do we read for other people. I think I wanted to do that today, but for some reason I got on a weird track at the beginning, but I think that was for a reason. So we're going to go with it, and we're going to learn how to read other people tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that because I think that's why a lot of people want to become psychic. Like, they want it for themselves, but they really want it for their family and their friends. So I'm excited to share that with you. I will see you all tomorrow, 10 o'clock on our last day of the course. And yeah, I'm excited. So let me know how this goes for you.